What if I told you that most people are being controlled every single day? Not by governments, not by social media, not by powerful corporations, but by something much smaller, a rude comment, a rejection, a stranger's opinion. One insult can ruin their entire day. One disagreement can keep them angry for weeks. And the worst part? They think this is normal. But over 2,000 years ago, the Stoics discovered a secret that changes everything. A secret that can make you almost impossible to manipulate. Imagine walking through life without being controlled by other people's words. Imagine staying calm when someone disrespects you. Imagine keeping your confidence even when others doubt you. Imagine becoming so mentally strong that chaos surrounds you, yet your inner peace remains untouched. Sounds impossible? It's not. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why. The biggest lie most people believe is that other people control how they feel. Someone insults them and they become angry. Someone ignores them and they feel worthless. Someone criticizes them and they lose confidence. But the Stoics saw something different. They understood that events themselves are not the problem. Our interpretation of those events is. Think about it. Two people receive the exact same criticism. One becomes upset and defensive. The other listens calmly and moves on. The criticism was identical. So what changed? The answer is simple. The meaning they attached to it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Most people spend their lives trying to control things they never had control over. They want everyone to respect them, everyone to understand them, everyone to approve of them. But that's a game nobody wins, because people will always judge. They will misunderstand, they will criticize, and sometimes they will dislike you for reasons that have nothing to do with you. The moment you accept this reality, something incredible happens. You stop fighting battles that were never yours to fight. And that's where freedom begins. Now let's go deeper. Why do certain comments hurt so much? Why can one person's opinion affect your entire day? The answer isn't what they said. The answer is what it touched inside you. Every emotional trigger reveals an attachment. Maybe you're attached to being liked. Maybe you're attached to being right. Maybe you're attached to appearing successful. When someone challenges that attachment, you react. Not because they're powerful, but because you've unknowingly given them power. The Stoics believed that true strength comes from reducing these unhealthy attachments. Not becoming cold. Not becoming emotionless, but becoming free. Free from needing constant approval. Free from needing validation. Free from needing everyone to agree with you. Imagine how much energy people waste trying to impress strangers, trying to prove themselves, trying to win arguments that won't matter a week later. The Stoics considered this a form of slavery. Because if your happiness depends on other people's opinions, then your happiness is never truly yours. It belongs to them. And that's a dangerous way to live. Here's a simple question. How much of your stress comes from things you can actually control? Probably very little. Most anxiety comes from worrying about outcomes. What others think. What might happen tomorrow. Whether everything will go according to plan. The Stoics divided life into two categories. Things you can control and things you cannot. You can control your actions, your effort, your attitude, your decisions. But you cannot control other people's opinions, the weather, the economy, the past, or the future. Yet most people focus almost entirely on the second category. They invest their energy into things beyond their control. Then wonder why they feel powerless. Imagine trying to move a mountain with your bare hands. That's what worrying about uncontrollable things is like. Exhausting, pointless, and deeply frustrating. The Stoic solution is simple. Focus all your energy on what you can influence. Release the rest. This doesn't mean giving up. It means becoming strategic. A farmer cannot control the weather, but he can control how well he prepares the field. A student cannot control exam questions, but they can control how much they study. An entrepreneur cannot control the market, but they can control the quality of their work. This mindset changes everything, because when you stop obsessing over outcomes, you become far more effective. You stop wasting energy, you stop creating unnecessary suffering, and you start making progress. Another lesson the Stoics taught was this: obstacles are not the enemy. Most people see problems as interruptions. The Stoics saw them as opportunities. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "The obstacle is the way." At first that sounds strange. How can a problem be the way forward? Because challenges reveal who you really are. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy. Anyone can be patient when nothing goes wrong. Anyone can be positive when everything is working. But adversity tests character. Pressure reveals strength. Difficulty creates growth. Think about every major improvement in your life. It probably came from a challenge, a failure, a setback, a painful lesson. The obstacle wasn't blocking the path. It was the path. And once you understand this, your relationship with hardship changes forever. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That single question transforms suffering into growth. Now let's talk about something most people never master: emotional control. Notice I didn't say emotional suppression. The Stoics never taught people to ignore emotions. They taught people to understand them. There's a huge difference. Suppressing emotions creates pressure. Understanding emotions creates wisdom. When anger appears, observe it. When fear appears, examine it. When frustration appears, question it. Don't immediately react. Pause, because between stimulus and response, there is a space, and inside that space lies your freedom. Most people never enter that space. They react automatically. Someone insults them. They explode. Someone disagrees. They become defensive. Someone challenges them. They attack. The Stoics trained themselves to pause, to think, to choose. And that small habit gave them enormous power. Because once you control your reactions, people lose the ability to manipulate you. Your peace stops depending on their behavior. Your confidence stops depending on their approval. Your happiness stops depending on circumstances. And that's real strength. Not muscles, not status, not money. Inner mastery. Finally, there's one Stoic practice that can completely change your life. It's called perspective. Every day, remind yourself how temporary everything is. Your problems, your fears, your setbacks, even your successes. Everything passes. Marcus Aurelius constantly reflected on the shortness of life. Not to become pessimistic, but to become grateful. When you remember that time is limited, you stop wasting it. You stop holding grudges. You stop arguing over meaningless things. You stop postponing what truly matters. You begin living intentionally. Because one day, all of this will end. And when that day comes, nobody will care how many arguments you won, how many strangers approved of you, or how often you were offended. What will matter is how you lived, how you treated people, how much courage you showed, how much peace you created within yourself. So remember this: people can insult you. People can reject you. People can misunderstand you. But none of them can control your mind unless you allow them to. That's the Stoic secret. The moment you stop giving away your emotional power, you become impossible to manipulate. You become calmer, stronger, wiser, and freer than most people will ever be. Not because life became easier, but because you finally learned how to master yourself. And once you master yourself, the world loses its power to shake you.